Hey, Algebra 2 students, this is Miss Van Norman again. In this video, we're going to be finding the measures of spread using Desmos. So if you're finding measures of spread using Desmos. Um, Looking back at our example, we're comparing the ages of NFL players to MLB players. So to start, go ahead and head on over to Desmos. When you get to Desmos, it will look like this. Then you're going to click on where the part where it says add item, and you'll insert a table. In this table is where you'll put your data set. Now I've gone ahead and put the data set in for NFL players up here and MLB players right here. Let's start by finding standard deviation. To find standard deviation, go into a new tab and you'll go to where it says functions. You'll hit the stats button. And then to find standard deviation, you'll click on this button right here where it says STDEVP. This stands for Standard Deviation of the Population. We're using this one because this data is a good representation of our population. So the first data set that we had was called X1. So we want the standard deviation for X1. And you'll notice that the standard deviation for the NFL players was 0.42 when we round. Then we can look at the standard deviation for the MLB players. You go to Functions, Stats, and then you click on STDEVP. You'll type in X2, and this gives you the standard deviation for the MLB players. All right, IQR is a little trickier. IQR, we have to use the formula Q3 minus Q1. So we have to find these two things separately. Let's start by finding the quartiles for data set 1. To do that, we go to Functions, Stats, and you'll see where it says quartile. Be careful, there's one that says quantile, and that's something different. Go to the one that says quartile, which is right here. We're looking at data set 1. Then you guys are going to put a comma. Comma is very important. We'll start by looking at quartile 1. So I'll type the number 1. So this gives me quartile 1 for data set 1. Then I could go to where it says stats, quartile, and I'll look at data set 1. But now I want to look at quartile 3. So this gives me quartile 3 for data set 1. Then IQR can be found just by subtracting these two numbers. You're trying to find the distance between these two numbers. So 26.1 minus 25.2. And this gives me that my IQR for data set 1 is 0.9. The process is the same to find the IQR for data set 2, except we'll just say X2. So we go to Functions, Statistics, Quartile. We're looking at data set 2. And let's start with quartile 1. Then we in a new tab. We go to quartile for data set 2, comma, 3. And this gives us quartile 3. To find the IQR, you just take quartile 3 minus quartile 1. So we would look at 29.1 minus 27.8. And this gives us the IQR for data set 2 is 1.3. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Bye.